Welcome back into the August forecast. We're going to have a look at the coming month, or the month that we've just started. For this video, we're going to have a look at August 2014. We'll have a recap on July, and then we'll look ahead through to August and see what may be occurring for the month ahead. Now, before I get on with the August forecast, just to say about the advertising this video ads on my pages at GazOptics.com. If you hit play on the video ad, you'll be supporting GazOptics.com. Thanks very much for doing that. The video ad is just to the right of this video as you're looking at it on this page. So thanks very much for doing that and supporting GazOptics.com. It helps pay for the website, basically. It allows me to sit here and talk to you via website. So thanks for getting involved and doing that. So just quick to say about July. The July forecast predicted that it would be a drier and warmer than average month. We said it could be quite hot at times, but probably not going to get quite to the heat that we had in 2013 last year. Nevertheless, it was for a warmer than average month, making it the 8th warmer than average month in a row, and also a drier than average month was likely. So let's see how it panned out. And in fact, we did have a warmer than average month, significantly warmer than average July. Here's the Central England temperature for July. This is for Central England, but the whole of the UK was very similar, really, in terms of the anomaly. It's around 1.5 degrees above average, something like that, with a Central England temperature here of 17.7, and that comes in a little bit below July 2013. July 2013 Central England temperature was at 18.3, so it was a pretty good prediction actually in terms of the temperatures. We did get that warmer than average month, not to the same extent as July last year, but certainly a significant warmer than average July was experienced by all parts of the country. In terms of the precipitation, I mean, many areas have come in drier than average. It's quite localised though, because there have been some big showers and thunderstorms around, so one or two places coming out with anomalies perhaps nearer average or even a little bit above here and there, but I think generally uniformly across the country, average out, it has more or less been a drier than average July. It's also been a very sunny July as well, so a vintage sort of month really, if you like dry, warm and sunny weather. And I think the forecast from GazOptics for this month was quite reasonable. So have a look at August next and see what's going to happen, or what may happen through the course of August. This is a 700 millibar height anomaly chart from the CFS V2 model. It showed a trough of low pressure out to the west, below average heights, a ridge of above average height sitting up to the east and the northeast of the country. The flow with this would be quite warm, generally from a southerly point, sometimes southwesterly, sometimes southeasterly, but in any case will be a warm flow. Could be quite unsettled in the west at times. It will always be drier in the east, but that's the anomaly for the month. In a moment we'll break it down into weekly periods and see how exactly that stacks up. The temperature anomaly is coming out for August virtually near normal, but I think actually we can increase that to above average. You'll see the reason why in a moment. Look how warm it's going to be up over Scandinavia. I think we're going to have another warmer than average month this month. That would be the 9th, yes, the 9th warmer than average month in succession. Quite an incredible run. Mind you, it's quite a way short of the all-time record number of warmer than average months in succession, which was 17, can you believe, from 1959 through to 1960. Can't remember the exact dates. I think it's something like early 1959, February perhaps, through to around June 1960, something like that. A very long run anyway of above average, warmer than average months. The precipitation anomaly for August is coming out wetter than average. I think that's quite reasonable, although I am expecting it to turn drier in the second half of the month. Here's how things stack up in terms of breaking this down into weekly periods from the CFS V2. This first weekly period is for the first week of August, essentially. It's an unsettled week with a trough of low pressure around the country, maybe centred slightly to the west, but really across many parts of the country it is going to be quite an unsettled week with rain at times, particularly in the west and north, but not exclusively so. There will be some going through to even into the east at times. The second weekly period, and this takes us from the 8th through to the 14th of August shows that we start to build this big ridge in out to the east and the northeast of the country. This trough out to west begins to weaken. So what's happening is that the trough is beginning to lift out, beginning to slip to west, and we're starting to pull in drier and perhaps significantly warm air from the east and the southeast. So I think that's probably a week that starts improving. It may start off very unsettled. I mean, it may gradually turn more settled from the east and from the southeast with time. And then as we go through to the third weekly period, which takes us from the 15th to the 21st of August, look at this, we generate a ridge across the country. It extends out into the Atlantic, and then it builds back in towards northeastern parts of Europe. So that is a proper area of high pressure building in through that middle phase of August. It could turn mainly dry, and it'd be quite warm as well. I'm not sure bringing up sort of southerly winds, but certainly pretty hot at times on that sort of anomaly. And mainly dry conditions, I would suspect, as well. And then finally, as we get through to the final period of the month, 22nd to the 28th, we see that that ridge then starts to centre more to the east again, but it's still very close to the country, although we begin to get some below heights setting up in the Atlantic. And this could be a breakdown week. I think we may start to see unsettled weather beginning to attack from the Atlantic, pushing that high pressure back into the continent. Maybe a thundery breakdown. Actually, we could bring some big thunderstorms in with that sort of anomaly. It would be very warm, though, once again. So if we have a look at the temperature anomalies, we can see that for the first weekly period, we're coming out near normal, actually. It's above average around the country, but near normal. And I don't know if you make it out, there's actually a little splotch of green there across England and Wales. That is below average temperatures just for the first week of August, but it doesn't last long as we get through to the second week. Remember, this is a week where that high pressure is beginning to take over to the east and the northeast. Temperatures are going above average once again. And then as we go through to the third and fourth weeks, well, it's solidly above average. Then we're in those orange colours once again. Perhaps not quite as hot as the second week period. That's the period where the ridge is coming right over the top of the country. So if anything with that, we will get some slightly cooler nights probably, which would just offset the warmer days. But nevertheless, it's a warmer than average period. Anyway, and then as we go through to the fourth week period, it could turn quite hot in that week, actually, with virtually bordering on the red colours there. That's just the thundery breakdown is coming in. Remember I said that the ridge is beginning to slip back to the east, allowing that trough to come in from the west. We could get a thundery breakdown, but it could get really quite hot for a time. So I think once you average all that out, it's most certainly an above average month in terms of the temperature for this coming month. So I am expecting a warmer than average August once again. In terms of precipitation anomalies are broken down into weekly periods. Well, it's unsettled through the first week, particularly in the northwest, but not exclusively so. There will be some rain coming through into the south and the southeast. The second weekly period, again, it's quite unsettled. This is the period where the high pressure is trying to take over from the east and the northeast, but it could take a long time. So particularly in the north and the west, it could be quite unsettled. It is turning a little bit drier down to the south and southeast, but those first 2 weeks of August could be really quite unsettled. Then as we go through to the third weekly period, it's turning drier there across all parts of the country. It's near average precipitation, but I think it's probably drier than average through that week, really. I mean, it's drier than average again, or it's showing near average, but I think it's probably drier than average again through the fourth weeks, although we have got this little splodge of green just showing up out to the west, and that is probably in the form of that breakdown that's starting to take place through that last part of August as the thundery low begins to move in. But I think overall we're looking at near average precipitation, probably a wetter month if anything than we've had through June and July, more uniformly wet I would imagine, particularly in the north and west. There will be some rain coming down into the south southeast, but above average temperatures do look very likely again as we go through this month. The Beijing Climate Centre 500 millibar height anomaly chart looks like this. This is for the month ahead. We've got the ridge of high pressure here up to the northeast, so Scandinavia, the trough of low pressure out to west. Very similar in terms of the chart that we started off with from the CFS. In fact, with the overall setup, we've got high pressure to the northeast, low pressure out to west. Winds are generally southerly to southeasterly based with that overall monthly anomaly. So again, temperatures are coming out warmer than average across many parts of the country. We are in those orange colours there, so it's a warmer than average month. And the precipitation, a little bit different to the CFS in that it is seeing quite a wet month. Certainly seeing a wetter month, I think, than the CFS model is. Beijing Climate Centre has us in those very deep blue colours. Could be significantly wet if that is right. That's getting on for 100% of average rainfall across southern parts of the country. Very, very wet month coming up. If the Beijing Climate Centre is right, I think that's probably overdoing things a little bit. I would suspect it's not going to be as wet as that, unless you happen to be very unlucky and get lots of thunderstorms, of course, and then the rainfall total can very quickly tot up. But overall, uniformly, I would expect the rainfall is going to come out near average, maybe a little bit above in the north and the west. But it's a wetter month overall compared to what we've had through most of this summer. June and July were both quite dry, so I think it will be a more active month in terms of rainfall. The temperatures, it's hard to go against what we're seeing here. Temperature anomalies again coming out above average. The 9th warmer than average month in succession, the 8th warmer than average month on the trot through this year, and of course then we have to add on December 2013, which was significantly warm as well. So another warmer than average month, and rainfall average to slightly above perhaps in the northwest. That's the prediction for August 2014 from GabsWeatherVids.com. As ever, we will evaluate next month when we do the September forecast. We'll have a look at how this prediction went, so it'll be interesting to see how the month pans out. But warm and relatively unsettled in the north and west is the prediction. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.